Okay, all right. Well, welcome to restorative yoga this evening. If you've got blankets, we need blankets, couple blankets, a bolster, couple blocks, and a strap. If you have a strap, you can use a house coat strap. You can use a belt. You can use a cushion from your couch if that works for you as well. Or even for the blocks, you can use a box. Shoe boxes work fine too. So whatever items you have. We'll go ahead and get started in our first position of reclined restorative bound ankle position. So taking your strap handy, you'll have it by your side. We'll go ahead and create the loop while we're seated. And if you have just a different type of strap, you can use that belt buckle. You can use just a knot at the end of a house robe strap as well. So the strap will go over your head, on your waist, and then we'll come, just having that ready is handy. So then we'll set up our bolster with two blocks, one block at the second height, the other block at that highest height. And then we'll lay the bolster on top. So if again you don't have blocks, then you can always use a couple of other heights, or even a rolled blanket underneath just to prop up that bolster a little bit. Just checking in. Then we'll take a blanket at the base of the bolster, right close, and then come and sit upon the blanket. We don't need our extra blanket in this position. So taking the strap right down on the hips, we'll put the feet in a cobbler pose position. Take the strap and place it underneath the toes. So from this position, the strap coming over the hips and feet in cobbler, strap goes underneath the toes. From here, we'll pull the strap taut there. And then when you're ready and you've got that position with your strap, you'll recline back onto the bolster. So our legs are in a cobbler pose. Our upper body is supported by bolster and block. From here, you'll pull that strap a little tighter. Maybe the feet come in a little closer towards the groin, and then resting the hands at your sides. You can close your eyes down if you'd like to here, or a soft gaze, maybe just drifting your eye gaze to a certain focal point away from you. Get comfortable there, and I'll go ahead and start with a reading, taking us into a peaceful meadow. Begin with a full inhalation and a long, soothing sigh out through the mouth. Inhale fully, expanding the abdomen, and a long, soothing sigh out through the mouth, just softening, sinking, settling into your restorative pose. On your inhale, just noticing. On your exhale, just releasing. Take a moment to relax your body. Getting comfortable, making any adjustments as necessary. Notice how your body feels. And then make again light adjustments to increase your comfort. Take a deep breath in and hold your breath at the top of the breath. And then exhale, sighing out, very slowly releasing any tension, worries, cares from the day and releasing them, sending them out the window. Inhaling for the count of 4. Seal off the breath at the top for the count of 2. And then exhale, sighing out for the count of 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Seal the breath. 2. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Continue with this breathing for a moment. If you'd like to, you can even place your hands on the abdomen and just notice the rise and fall of the abdomen, drawing the breath into the abdomen rather than into the upper chest. As you draw the breath into the abdomen and exhale from the abdomen out, it'll help release toxins, tensions, stressors, anxieties that maybe have built up during the day. Breathe in again, and as you exhale, allow your body to relax. Continue to breathe slowly, deeply. As you visualize the following scene, let your body and your mind become more and more relaxed with each moment. Imagine yourself walking outdoors. You are walking through the trees, small aspens, their leaves moving in the summer breeze. The sun shines down warmly. You walk toward a clearing in the trees. And as you come closer to the clearing, you see that it is a meadow. You walk out of the trees into the meadow. Tall green grass blows gently. You are feeling at peace, at ease. You decide you'd like to sit down in this tall green grass and just rest, noticing the warmth of the sun on your skin, listening to the birds as they chirp, maybe watching a butterfly drift slowly by. You decide to walk further into the meadow now, looking around. Imagine the meadow in your mind's eye. What does the meadow look like? Feel the breeze caress your skin as you sit or lie down in the sun. It is a pleasant day, warm, but not too hot, quiet, and peaceful. You notice the grass whispering. In the breeze, you see the mix of meadow grasses, clover, wildflowers all around you. You see a small ladybug climb a blade of grass, climbing up toward the top, pausing for a moment, and then flying away. Imagine closing your eyes and listening to these sounds in the meadow. Again, hearing the birds singing, the breeze rustling the grass softly. Maybe you hear a buzzing bee nearby. You feel the sun on your face. Imagine turning your face up toward the sky, your eyes closed, enjoying the warmth of the sun on your skin. Inhale the fragrance of the wildflowers, the grass, the earth, the sun. Maybe you look around again in the meadow and see the sights around you, noticing how the ground follows gentle contours of hills. You see the blue sky above, a few wispy clouds drifting slowly by. You see the trees at the edge of the meadow. The meadow is lush and green, a haven for birds and animals. As you watch, a deer peers out through the trees and emerges to graze at the edge of the meadow. The deer raises its head to look at you, sniffing the breeze, and then turns, disappearing slightly and silently, quietly, slowly, back into the trees. Rest and luxuriate in this peaceful, beautiful meadow. Again, noticing the sights, the sounds, the smells around you. Feel the soft grass beneath you, the sun and the breeze on your skin. Imagine all the details of this beautiful place. Now, it is time to leave the meadow just for now, returning to the present, to the moment, noticing your current surroundings, feeling the earth beneath you, the support of the bolster, the blocks. Just noticing sounds close, nearby, those further away from you. And very gently open your eyes to look around, reorienting to the present. Inhale again fully. And a long, soothing sigh out. Inhale. And exhale. Very slowly now begin to wiggle your fingertips, stretching through your arms. And then gently pressing your hands into the earth to draw the body upright as you begin to loosen and remove the strap from over the feet, over the head, and sending the strap to the side. Just taking your time, gradually moving in between each pose. In our next position, we'll take 2 blocks at one end of the mat, the bolster on top, and then we'll take a rolled blanket. We'll open it up like so, and then roll it up. So we'll use this for our spine and our head. And we'll use the bolster and the block support or whatever other work that you've got at home to make this happen. Bolster and blocks and a blanket to support the spine. In this position, you'll set your glutes right at the edge of the blanket. You want to bring the sacral region right in close to the blanket, sending the legs up on top of your support here, block and bolsters. Make sure it's stacked well so it doesn't topple over when you're here. And then very gently recline back so that your spine is along the blanket. Legs are heavy and soft, toes turned out, knees turned out, pelvic bowl is released, and then resting the arms again at the sides. If you'd like to, again, closing the eye gaze down. Take your time to get in, get comfortable, reposition, wiggle about so that you feel just right and can stay here for a period of time. If at any point you become uncomfortable, you can always remove the blanket that's along the spine, or maybe you'd prefer to have your legs flat on the floor. Another option would be to take a chair and rest your legs up on a chair. When you've gotten yourself comfortable here, inhale, fully expanding the abdomen, and a long, slow sigh out through the mouth. Inhale fully, and a long sigh out. During this time, allowing your mind to gently wander back to that beautiful meadow that you created in your mind from our reading. Maybe you see that deer coming back out, keeping an eye on you. Maybe that ladybug has returned. You see the butterflies floating gently in the breeze. Maybe you hear the birds chirping. Grass gently blowing in the breeze. Inhale the beauty of the space and time that you created. Exhale again, releasing any anxieties, tensions, worries, and sending them on their way. Just noticing how you feel. If there are any areas of tightness or tension in the body, take the breath there and slowly release the breath and release the tension. Relax the jaw. Maybe part the lips just slightly. The cheekbones are soft. The eyes full of grace and compassion for self. And you allow the mind to be free. As thoughts come, acknowledge them and let them go just as easily. Just be. Maybe taking that count of 4 on the inhale, sealing off the breath for the count of 2, and then exhale, sighing out for the count of 4, and sealing off the breath at the bottom. Inhale for 4, seal off the breath, exhale for 4, seal off the breath, inhale, count of 4, seal off the breath, and exhale, count of 4, seal off the breath. Continue with this breath cycle, especially if you need somewhere to bring your attention to. Maybe you want to make that count a little longer maybe counting to 5 or 6, and then sealing off the breath with a count of 2, and maybe exhaling with a count of 5 or 6, and sealing off the breath at the bottom. Coming back to the natural rhythm of breath whenever you're ready. Inhale fully. Long, nourishing sigh out. And then again, wiggling the fingertips, the toes. Maybe rotating the wrists or the ankles. And very gently bend the knees in towards the chest as you rotate over to one side, coming off your blanket. Resting here for a moment in a fetal position. And then very gently and slowly, as you're ready, pressing the earth away with one hand, begin to draw your body back upright slowly. And we'll transition to our next pose. In our next restorative pose, we'll take 2 blocks at any height. We'll find out what's best for you as we go, but possibly here. And then taking the bolster on top. Maybe you even end up wanting to create more of a castle and put a blanket on top of that. From here, we're going to kick the legs out on either side long, resting the arms over the top of the blanket, bolster, and blocks, and then resting the head on the right ear or the left ear. If you need even more support, you can also take a blanket underneath the glutes. So just see what feels best for you. Again, any height with the blocks is great. So maybe we go lower, maybe we come higher and we need extra support. So just see what feels best for you. Make yourself comfortable. And again, if you would like to sit upon a rolled blanket underneath the glutes, that's great too. So pressing through the heels, legs are long, and then draping the arms over the props. We'll come to the right ear, and at any point when you're ready, rotating to the left ear. So take your time getting in, getting comfortable, and then reposition at any point. And again, at any point, if any position is beginning to feel uncomfortable for you, first try to breathe into it, settle into it, soften the body, relax the muscles. Use the breath to release tension. And if you're still feeling too unsettled in that pose, you can always take a child's pose or Shavasana, recline on your back, or maybe a different position that feels best for you. But we'll go ahead together and see how we go with our wide-legged forward fold in a seated position, resting your head to one side. Inhaling fully. Long, soothing sigh out as you soften, deepen, maybe go in a little lower. Inhale again, expanding awareness. And a long, soothing sigh out as you soften, sink, and deepen into the pose. A few quotes for thought here. My creativity is an act of my soul. I am rooted in the creativity of the entire universe. My dreams and desires are funded by divine power, intended to bring divine good and harmony into the world. My heart is a deep lake of loving kindness. I count myself fortunate to hold tenderness within my soul. I forgive myself my fears, frailties, and failures. I choose compassion toward myself in times of turbulence and change. The song of life is infinite and variable. Its melodies and harmonies hold infinite possibilities. I am both the listener and the song. I am both the composer and the note. Inhale, fully expanding the upper back, the chest, the lungs, and a long sigh out, sinking, softening, held and supported by the props. And again, at any point, rotating to the opposite ear. Inhale again, expanding the upper back, the chest, the lungs, and a long, soothing sigh out. Are you there?
Yep. Sorry.
You're here.
It just cut out for some reason.
Oh, I'm glad it popped up. You figured it out, so we're good. Let's see. Okay. We'll go ahead and come on out of this seated position, just drawing the hands away from the props, sitting up tall, setting the props to the side, and then taking the hands underneath the knees to pull the knees in, crossing at the ankles. We'll get ready for our next pose. In this position, we'll lie down with the bolster, our hips over the bolster, and then our feet will be supported by a blanket. So I'll just demonstrate that here and then join in when you're ready. Go ahead and take a rolled blanket for the feet at one end of the mat, the bolster for the hips. If you'd like an extra support for the head and the arms, you can also take a blanket here as well. So we've got a rolled blanket for the ankles, the bolster for the hips, and then that extra support for the head if that feels good for you. It'll look like this. So just making sure that that bolster is really protecting, comforting the hips, the pelvic bowl, and then relaxing the legs on the rolled blanket. The toes maybe just touching or hovering over the earth, and then reclining down as you're ready, resting on the right or the left ear. The arms are in a soft elbow position, resting on the earth. The heels are turned out, the toes are turned slightly in so that your pelvic bowl can relax completely. Readjust as necessary, and at any point rotate to the opposite ear. Closing the eye gaze down when you're comfortable. And inhaling fully into the lower back, the hips, and a long, soothing sigh out. Allow the body to sink, soften, and settle into the earth and the support of the props. And options for giving yourself a focal point would be the reading that we started with, that peaceful meadow. Maybe that breath work, counting in for the count of 4, 5, or 6, sealing off the breath, and then exhaling for the count of 4, 5, or 6, sealing off the breath. Or maybe just that natural rhythm of breath, acknowledging thoughts as they come, and then releasing them just as easily with the breath. Drawing breath in again, fully expanding the lower back, the hips, pelvic bowl, the abdomen, and a long, soothing, steady sigh out through the mouth. Again, rotating to the opposite ear at any point. Tuning into your breath, your heartbeat. And very gently pressing the earth away, drawing the body upright as we transition to our next pose. In this position, we'll take 2 blocks or even stacked blankets with our bolster, kind of the way we had it set up at the beginning. So block at the highest height, the next block. You can even take a blanket here if you want more height, that's fine too. A blanket on either side of the bolster on the top or underneath, just depending on how you want to feel most supported. Here, we'll take a blanket for the hips. If you feel like you need more support, like I said, you can take that extra additional blanket here, or maybe underneath the blocks. You'll notice. Okay, my computer just stopped, it looks like, on this end. Sorry. Let's see. We will continue.
Is this messing up your recording that it keeps malfunctioning? Sorry.
To the school, and it's no big deal. They probably will skip through it. I don't know what's going to happen. Let me find pin video again. That's all right. I don't know. And you can't trust the internet. You never know. It's
right.
Yoga. All right. Let's see. Okay, let's try to get into this next pose that feels really good. Okay. Looks like it's recording. Yeah. Okay. So again, if you want extra support, we'll see where you go with it. But you'll rest on your left hip, cross at the ankles like our mermaid pose. Walk the hands down either side of the bolster with or without that additional blanket. Again, a blanket can go underneath as well. And then you'll rotate a little deeper if you want to onto the right ear. So we'll be on the left hip and the right ear. A lot of rotation through the spine. If that's too deep, you can also rest on just the left ear here. And again, if you feel more comfortable with that added blanket, go ahead and make your way there. Your hands can go in between the blocks or on the far side of that highest block as well, or just resting palms down, elbows bent. And once you've found a comfortable position, just begin to settle in. Resting the eye gaze or closing the eyes. In my life, where I experience doubt and dismay, I welcome a resurgence of faith and conviction. I allow my life to be tidal. I allow my life to feel and empty according to a plan higher than I might naturally perceive. In every moment, I am given opportunities for creative service. Sometimes that service is simple witness. I count and encounter the blessings of life. I recognize and honor the dignity of those whom I meet. Life is intentional, not accidental. I bless this central fact. Consciousness instigates shifts in our outer reality. Recognizing that I have the power to change my world by changing my thinking. I set for myself a gentle vigilance towards any negative thoughts or thinking. I recognize that life is always supporting me through every twist and every turn. Life is always supporting me through every twist and every turn. Life is always supporting me through every twist and every turn. Acknowledging, bringing acceptance to the fact that life is rarely a smooth journey, but that's okay. Life is studded with surprising twists and turns that always seem to keep us growing, learning, and evolving. Life really is a series of ups and downs. And the more we can accept this and understand this, the more we can relax and enjoy the flow of life. In fact, the more we can accept this, the more we can start to see life as an adventure that we don't need to take so seriously. While life is very valuable, taking it too seriously leads to feelings of stressors and burnout and anxieties. Instead, if you bring lightness and fun into your life, things will seem so much easier. Maybe at times you feel overwhelmed by the surrounding chaos, especially during these times with what's going on around the entire world. But by reciting this mantra, it can help you restore faith, peace, and harmony in your body. It also helps you accept whatever is surrounding you and whatever is waiting around the corner. Reciting this mantra will help open your awareness to just how supportive life can be. Again, life is always supporting me through the twists and the turns. Drawing breath in, the cleansing breath, the restorative breath, long sigh out. And very gently again, pressing your hands into the earth, draw the body upright, coming again now to a seated position and rotating to the opposite side. So leaving your equipment, your props right where it is, straight, bringing the knees up and over. We'll rotate, switch, so we're in a mermaid pose with now the right hip next to the bolster and blanket. From here, going ahead and making your way down, walking the hands on either side of the bolster and then rotating so you're resting on the left ear. So you're on the right hip and the left ear. If that's too much of a twist, go ahead and rest on the right ear and the right hip. So just see what feels best for you. Again, making use of any of the props at any height that feels good as well. Closing the eye, gaze down again as you're ready. And again, some food for thought. I welcome health and happiness into my life. I welcome health and happiness into my life. I welcome health and happiness into my life. Think of this mantra as an invitation to health and happiness. Sometimes you have to invite these qualities into your life to remind yourself that they exist and that you are deserving of them. By reciting this mantra, you will open the doorway to welcome health and happiness into your life so that you can feel joyful and abundant and full of life once again. Even though you don't really need to invite these things into your life, they are already there. You might need to rediscover them. This mantra encourages you to do just that. As you welcome health and happiness back into your life, make a list of all the things that actually make you feel happy and healthy. Reflecting on what it is that fills you up and makes you joyful. This process also directs your awareness toward what you need to bring more of into your life. When you embrace all the things that enrich your life and bring you feelings of health and joy, you will feel more connected to these states of being. This in turn will align your energetic vibration so that you may receive even more health and happiness in your life. I welcome health and happiness into my life. Again, nourishing the body with the breath and a long sigh out. Pressing the hands into the earth and drawing the body back upright. We'll take one more position before we recline in Shavasana, a supported frog pose. Really good for the hips. Now that we've relaxed so much, our hips probably a lot more open. So we'll take 2 blankets. We'll have them folded up like that. And then the bolster we'll need, we'll send the blocks off to the side. The bolster on the mat and the blankets folded just the same, one on either side for our frog pose. In the frog pose, we'll take the legs onto the blankets and pull the bolster in close, resting here. So it's kind of a child's pose in that position, but we're going to open the legs up. The feet are slightly flexed, pressing the flats of the feet towards the short edge of the mat, and then reclining on the bolster. If you need more support, you can also take, if you prefer higher height, depending on your range of motion in the hips, we can take 2 more blocks and place them under the bolster, or maybe even another blanket height. So we've got a blanket for each of our knee, shin, foot on each side, and then pulling the bolster in close, the extra block support if that feels better for you. So whatever it takes to help you feel the most comfortable in our supported frog pose. So we want to open it up a little bit more, drop the knees out a little wider if you can, flexing the feet. So rather than sinking in here like we do in child's pose, we're wanting to open it right up. So we're on the bolster, knees are wide, feet are wide, and the shins are parallel with the blanket. Make your way in, use any support, props, blankets, bolsters you need so that you feel just right and super supported. And when you're ready, again, closing the eye gaze down, the arms are just soft, elbows bent, hands pressed, palms down into the earth, or you can even take the hands in prayer above the bolster. Whatever feels good for you here. Settling in once again with the breath, softening, relaxing the hips, the inner thigh, the glutes, the knees. The shins are soft, the feet are relaxed. The torso is heavy and soft. The arms relaxed. The jaw relaxed. The cheekbones soft. The eyes full of grace and compassion for self. And the mind is free. At any point, rotating to the opposite ear as feels best for you. Becoming the observer of your practice, just noticing, aware, allowing the body to rest, to surrender to the pose. Inhale fully. Sighing out. Pressing the earth away with the hands, very gently scooting the hips back towards the heels, and then bringing the knees in closer like child's pose. Make your way up and out. Well, lastly, now rest in Shavasana. So set all the props to the side. If you do want support for the head, go ahead and use a blanket. If you do want support for the knees, you can place a bolster underneath the knees. And if you do want a blanket over you for this last minutes together, go ahead and take that blanket over you as well. Make your way into a very comfortable Shavasana position so that you're warm, settled. Resting the arms on the earth, palms turned up. You can use no props, or maybe you want to use that bolster and the blankets. That's great too. Resting the arms at the side. Fingertips are light and floating, and turning the toes out. Just breathe. Allow the feet to be heavy and soft, supported by the earth. The ankles are soft and heavy, supported by the earth. The calves, the shins, soft and heavy, supported by the earth. The knees are soft and heavy, supported by the earth. The hamstrings, the quads, soft and heavy, supported by the earth. The hips, the pelvic bowl, the glutes, soft and heavy, supported by the earth. The abdomen, the lower back, soft and heavy, supported by the earth. The upper back, the chest, the rib cage, soft and heavy, supported by the earth. The shoulders, biceps, the triceps, soft and heavy, supported by the earth. The elbows, the forearms, soft and heavy, supported by the earth. The wrists, the palms, the fingers, soft and heavy, supported by the earth. The neck is soft, the jaw relaxed, the cheekbones soft, the eyes full of grace and compassion for self, and the mind is at ease, peaceful, carefree. The heart has been released, softened. Inhale, expanding the abdomen. Long sigh out, drawing navel to spine. Inhale, expanding the upper chest, the lungs, and a long sigh out. Very gently now begin to wiggle the fingertips, wiggling the toes, maybe rotating the ankles, the wrists. And then very gently, when you're ready, on the inhale, drawing your knees in towards your chest, and then rotating very gently onto one side, resting in a fetal position. Thanking yourself for making time for you, for the practice of yoga as it restores, nourishes, strengthens the heart, the mind, and the soul. And then very gently, as you're ready, with your breath, pressing the earth away, drawing the body back upright into a comfortable seated position, crossing the ankles, and bringing the hands to the heart center. Inhale again, fully together. Long sigh out, resting the eye gaze down, dropping the chin towards the chest. May you be protected. May you be nourished by your breath. May your life be an inspiration, a blessing, and a joy to the world around you. May you bring hope to those in need. And may you absolutely love the life that you have been gifted. The light in me sees, loves, recognizes the light, the courage, the strength, the tenacity in you. Namaste. Thank you very much for celebrating this evening together in the practice of yoga. Let me know if you have any questions or if you'd like to share anything.
Oh, thank you. That was so wonderful.
Oh, you're so welcome.